Bolanders was started by Carl Bolander, who came here and immigrated from Sweden with his family and started the company in 1924. The company, since its inception, has always been founded on hard work, honesty, doing a great job, and doing the job correctly the first time. And we continue to use those principles today in all of our projects. Well, under Ivar's leadership, the company expanded greatly into river dredging, mining, bought cranes for building demolition, really expanded the type of scope of work that the Bolander company could perform. Brought his son into the company, David, and trained his son, brought him up through the ranks, and David learned all of the things and eventually became president of Bolander.
David Bolander he had a real mechanical mind. So he enjoyed heavy equipment, cranes, scrapers. And in that era, there was work up in the mines, up in Hibbing, strip mining, and then also a fair amount of demolition with the tall cranes.
Well, David didn't have a lot to say usually, but every day that he came, he always stopped in my office, asked me how I was doing, what I was working on, and then he always had information to share with me that was part of the history of Bolander, from equipment to people to projects, everything that, I think kept him motivated to come to work, he shared, and I really enjoyed that.
Unfortunately, in 1979, David Bolander came down with throat cancer, and he asked his wife, Dorothy Bolander, if she couldn't come into the company and help run the company while he was, carrying his cancer. She came in and ran the company for several years and was instrumental in the building of our new offices and keeping the company running in tip-top shape while he was gone.
Dorothy Bolander was what I would classify as a lady's lady. She was a very well-mannered, very well-educated woman that could do everything for a construction company. And she knew the business end of every aspect of both Carl Bolander and Sons and the subsidiary company SKB Environmental. She pioneered women in construction, but it was always family first with Dorothy, always. And then that culture continued. It continued through Mark and Rick. And that family culture is what we pride ourselves on today.
David, fortunately, was able to return to being the president of the company in 1981 and took the company to new levels. That's when we did the Armor Meat Packing Plant in 1985 and many river projects, dredging projects, landfill design and construction projects. Grew the company immensely.
David had gotten into a dispute with the city of Minneapolis over Boom Island.
Bolanders had a piece of property called Boom Island that was on the Mississippi River very close to downtown Minneapolis, which they would demolish the old concrete buildings and bring them to the island. And David Bolander actually developed a process that he could recycle the concrete into a road building material.
The dispute came when the city of Minneapolis wanted to take the property under condemnation, and David Bolander was not happy at all and picked up his tool belt and came to St. Paul.
The 90s were an interesting time for the Bolander companies. Our environmental company was growing by leaps and bounds, and the construction entity was growing by leaps and bounds, and it was really kind of a fun time and to watch this business grow. And around 2000, David Bolander asked me to come back and run the construction company and the environmental company at the same time. And we were growing so fast that I felt that we needed a little more help in management. And I knew Mark Ryan, and I thought he would be the ideal person to manage the construction company. And Mark decided he would take that job.
When I was hired at Carl Bolander and Sons in 2001, David Bolander, Dorothy Bolander, and Rick O'Gara interviewed me to be president of the company. And I had asked David what my job description was. And David said, run the company. And so I thought that was great because from that day on, he let me run the company.
And so Mark became president of the company, and I became president of SKB Environmental. And Mark has done just a tremendous job correcting problems that the company may have had and building a beautiful team of people that are performing the work safely and professionally on a day-to-day basis.
Mark Ryan's culture and his presidency really revolves around building a client relationship and building a staff, and almost much more of a family type operation where you're partnering with clients, you're promoting from within to grow staff. Our people are so important to bring them up. We grow as they grow. And that's his culture that he instilled in me.
That can-do attitude that we have and the experience of our field staff, our superintendents, to go out with our operators and laborers and truck drivers to build work. We are complimented so often on our ability to work with our clients and with their owners to solve problems. The ingenuity that we have to do work is fantastic.
Mark has always been a really high-level leader. His leadership skills in how he manages his people and how he empowers them to make decisions is something that he mentors me with constantly. We talk probably every other day. So I'm taking certain things that I've learned from Mark over these past, 17 years and incorporating it into how we're doing business going forward.
In the 2010s, we really had a little bit of a heart-to-heart internally about whether we were going to stay in the foundation business, which was earth retention and piling. We were struggling with personnel, not with the personnel, but just finding the right people to do the work and the experience. And we really just rolled up our sleeves, and with the help of Todd Planting and Brad Ames, Bob Zwartz, we stayed in the business, and we've grown that part of the company, and we've really improved our processes, and we've upgraded our equipment. It's a really great asset to our organization.
In 2020, Bolander opened the Rochester office. That's allowed us to grow our relationships not only with general contractors that are in that region down there, but with Mayo itself. What we've found is the opening of that office helps us with equipment utilization, personnel utilization, as well as just reach for construction projects. The opportunities coming up in Rochester are significant. That hospital will have more expansion than any other hospital in the US in the next 5 years. You can drive around anywhere in this metro area and see, you probably don't go 3 blocks without passing a Bolander project. Union Depot, 35W Bridge, TH36, anywhere in Minneapolis, the IDS, Fauché, Convention Center, almost every Target Field, the Metrodome, Allianz. We've been on every one of those projects at some point to some degree. With me at the presidency now, the scope of work that we provide continues to expand. We offer different types of services. We offer different geological services. We've created almost new types of divisions, specifically created for certain clients like Excel Energy. We'll grow where the need is and fit it with the capabilities that we need to pull in.
When I started in this industry in 1980, I never thought I would be here at this point today, age 65, celebrating 100 years with people that I really love to work with, day in and day out. I mean, our staff, we are the best of the best. And I want to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for the contributions you have given to this organization to make us and keep us great. Thank you very much.
David would be proud to see the company make 100 years. I think he knew in his heart that would happen, and I'm just really happy to be here and see that for him.
Thank you so much for coming to celebrate 100 years of Carl Bolander and Sons.
I'm pretty proud, to be honest with you. There's not a lot of companies in the US that get to be 100 years old. Construction companies come, construction companies go. It's a volatile industry. It's so hard to continue with capital investment and investment in your people, growing from within, face all the challenges. There's new competitors popping up every day. Every day there's another challenge. But in the end, everybody here loves what we do. The fun we have in sitting down and figure out the best way to build a job is what makes it all worthwhile. Watching people grow from intern into a vice president, or from a laborer into a general superintendent, that is who we are. That's Bolander. That's how we've grown to be 100 years old, is by growing with our people.